that doesn't sound good, does it? If you'd like to follow the process of turning a block of wood like this into a guitar like this, then you've come to the right place. And if you would like to see me give this guitar away, click subscribe, hit the bell. And here we are. Welcome back. We are at the day where I'm going to put on the bridge and the nut, and we'll put the strings on, and we'll get to hear how it sounds for the first time. But it's going to take just a little bit of work to put this on. If I'm going to put a neck on that is going to be stationary, not just a bolt-on neck, but a neck that is, there's a mortise and tenon, if it's been glued into place or it's a neck through, I like to wait to put my bridge in until that's all in place so that I can make absolute certain that I've got good action on my neck and that the strings line up where they should be. But I'll start to string it up and I'll use the bridge, and I'm just going to move the bridge around just slightly to make sure that everything lines up. This is a 24 3/4 inch neck, which means that I'm going to have to be 12 3/8 from the 12th fret to the front of my bridge saddles. I'll be stringing it up with these. These are my favorite string by far, the DR dime bags, the 1046. As I adjust the truss rod and everything, that's to a 10 as opposed to like a 9 or even lighter. Okay, so the strings are on. They're not tuned up yet. Not even, I haven't tuned it yet. I can already tell that I wanna take about a 1/16 of an inch off of my nut down there, and I haven't set the truss rod yet, but I'm gonna tune it up quick, and then I'm going to plug it in and just hear it going through the amplifier. It's always kind of a fun thing to do, to hear it for the first time being played through an amp. Okay, so we have an instrument that holds strings, and it tunes up. Like I said, it's nothing's adjusted yet, so it's going to sound funky a little bit. And we've got sound. It's always good to know that. Make sure we got all pickups. I definitely have to adjust that too. That pickup's sitting way down there at the moment yet, so that's got to come up. That's one thing about these EMGs, is that you can have these actually fairly close to the strings. In fact, they're meant to be closer to the string. They're not like the Alnico 5 magnets in there that you have to worry about the strong magnet stopping the sustain of the string. They're meant to be close. Well, that doesn't sound good, does it? Better adjust the truss rod. And actually, I'm going to be adjusting the truss rod, and I'm going to be taking a little off the nut, which you'd think, well, why would I take off the nut if it's bottoming out there, but I can see that the way my neck is bowed at the moment, I need to adjust the truss rod. And I can also see that my strings are a little too high down on this end. So that's all the adjustment stuff. So, yep, now it's just going to be taking time to make the adjustments as needed. And I am working on Tony's guitar, and I've now got it stained. I've got it sanded with 600 grit after being stained. Now I'm going to start putting on the clear coat. So it won't be on that long. It's sitting right over there, but I'm not going to show it to you yet. Not until it's done anyway. Got to surprise Tony. All right. I'll work on doing some adjustments here. I take one of these Sharpie markers that's a fine tip, and it's got a little bit of a tip end on it. And if I put that right up to there, and I just run that right along there, I can leave a line that's about 1/16 of an inch, pretty close. And that way I can see how much I'm taking off. I try to apply even pressure as I use it. Now my neck, where this goes, is flat. It's not rounded. So there are some necks where you have to have a nut that has actually got a curve to it. This is not the case for these guitars. So I have tightened the truss rod. I have shaved off some of the height on the nut. I've raised the bridge a little bit. Now the way I go about adjusting this is kind of just taking step by step. So I raise the bridge up enough that everything plays. I've got it all so that it rings. I've got everything that's ringing, but it's still not intonated. I'm going to intonate it so that I got these bridge saddles where they need to be, and then I will start to lower the strings until I start to get some buzz on the frets, and then I will look to see, okay, should I be able to go lower yet, but I'm getting buzz? Do I need to tighten the truss rod, loosen the truss rod? From my nut to my first fret looks pretty good. I could potentially take off like maybe a 32nd to a 16th yet, which I might still do. So I don't glue that in for a while. I'll get it intonated, see how it feels, see how it plays, see where my measurements are at with the strings. Right now, I mean, they're where a lot of most inexpensive guitars would have their string height set. So it's very playable. But they're a little bit higher than what I like it. I like them to be just right there, close to the fret without getting the buzz. If you want to follow along, I guess I could just show you how I've intonated. I've showed other videos on how I do intonation, but if you want, I can just show you maybe on one string how I intonate. So I'm going to just try and get it zeroed right on low E, and then I go to the 12th fret, and I push down, not too hard, because, you know, if you push hard enough on a string, you can make it go out of tune, right? So I'm just getting it so that it frets. And I'm looking to see if it's sharp or flat. It is the slightest bit. It's almost right on there. It's really close. So I'm just going to move the saddle back this way just a little bit. Okay, I'm good there. Now check on the 12th fret. Oh, it's dead on now. Okay, so I've gone through all the strings now and I've intonated it. The thing that you don't want to think is, okay, it's intonated, so it's done. Now I've got that. Now I'm going to start looking at how far down can I lower the strings, and then I might need to re-intonate it just a little bit. But right now, it's already starting to play a lot better. So it didn't start off playing very nice at all. They're not going to. Don't put it together and think, oh, it's just going to play. There's a lot of adjustment. And I think that really you can even get a cheaper guitar sounding pretty good and playing pretty good if you know how to adjust them. I've got some adjustment to do on this yet. We'll try it again now. I've taken a little bit more off the bottom of the nut, tuned it up. Okay, that's the one, that's the culprit. Oh, that's the culprit because that's not in the bridge saddle where it needs to be. Nice. That was our issue. Yeah, make sure your strings are in the bridge saddle. That might help with intonation. Really down here as far as... Guess it's time to spray again. Put my timer on so I'm reminded. I'll be back. Okay, I got Tony's guitar sprayed again, which, by the way, if you're new here, you don't know who Tony is, but I've been talking about it for a while. He is a military vet who has been disabled for quite some time. Played guitar. He was one of the inspirations for me way back when I was in like junior high. He was in high school, and he played guitar. And back in the day, he was a pretty decent guitar player. And then he had a brain aneurysm, which led to a tumor in the brain, and so he's really struggled for a long time. But he feels like he'd like to try and play guitar again, and so I'm building Tony a guitar. But I'm not showing it until after I get it to him, so that it's a surprise. Anyway, so now what I want to do, I want to see if I can get this action a little bit better than what it is right now. It seems to be intonated okay, but when I get up here, you can hear that it's a little bit of a buzz in there, and almost a little bit of a dead note. Main issue is right here on this, on that fret there. It's not super bad, but it's also not quite right. So I'm going to look down my neck first, and I'm going to see if I can see how my neck is bowed or if it's pretty well straight. That would be indicative of needing to adjust the truss rod. I mean, yeah, it looks like maybe the truss rod could be adjusted just a little bit here yet. So that's adjusting the truss rod. You want to be careful because you don't want to damage your neck. So take just little bits at a time. Okay, now I'm going to have to retune it and see if that makes a difference. So I think I've got it. It sounds pretty good. My action is pretty decent on here. Sounds pretty decent. By the way, I'm just going through an inexpensive Ibanez amplifier. There's no effects on it whatsoever. So now I'm going to work on getting the back plates on, get this cleaned up just a little bit back in here. I've got to put on the buttons for the strap. You're going to see me give it away really soon. It's going to be a lot of fun. You have to keep watching.